Straight from the heart of St. Paul. This is Love FM 105.1 from Sarafina Ventures and Communications Incorporated. This is Love FM 105.1. Oh, land of liberty shall we live for good or bad, the ugly. We all benefit from 24 hours. given us that for free. The one who made the heaven and earth. He never sleeps. Well, we're going to welcome you to another fascinating time on this Thursday's edition of the Positive Shore. Today happens to be the 28th day of August. Slipping away from our hands is the month of August. Very people days to say goodbye. But until that time, we've come in between time. So many things happen in our country. Decisions have been made. Should we say in the best interest of the people? Yes, we could. Implementation is paramount. As Liberia is on the rise, and anyone who stands in the way will be caught out. My name is Rufus Divine Conan. This morning, as usual, we'll bring you from the Roberts International Airport. That has to do with arrivals and departures from the Roberts International Airport. We'll take you through the new traffic. Anyone Rover and his environment. Give you security alert. Health tips. The visit. Gasoline and fuel prices. The exchange rate of the Central Bank of Liberia. Commercial commitment. All in our presentation. Health tips. We are set up to 10 o'clock this morning. Your full participation is needed because Thomas Jefferson wrote that in our code. And more of those safe depository for the people themselves. If we are the safe depository, we must be to power. We must be able to speak to those issues that we are confronted with. You cannot sit back and say it's the people's thing. Remember, our Constitution rightly put it. All power is inherent in the people. The people that you have elected to steer the ship of affairs of our beloved country for the next 6 years, they are your employee. You are their employer. Do not dictate the issue. When you employ somebody, you have the authority to speak to them and tell them what to do in your best interest, right? So let us exercise the power given us by the Constitution and exercising that power in a responsible way. So we begin our day thanking God for giving us the opportunity to be alive. Others have plans. But the core hands of death took them away. Better than those that are gone. But by His grace, we are coming to announce the name before you leave your homes, that we always encourage you to do. Say a word of prayer. Letting God thank you and presenting your day in His hands. May He go before you as a pillar of cloud, and be behind you as a pillar of fire, that everyone you come in contact with, His blessings and favor rest upon you. He built His edge of protection over you and that of your family. So, a bounce of our team song followed by commercial commitment. When we come back, we're talking talking more about what is unfolding there at the LDA, men moving, men dropping, other issues will be highlighted. Don't go away. My name is Rufus. Be there. I'm standing here.
Original. And it makes me wonder. Mona always says me. All I want your mother cheese. And then payment you make using your momo matata, you just photo win. You will get points. On your meaning on the dality and so go tell all your friends. Stand I momo we stand. Momo carry 12% of Dubai. Why you waiting for to use a mobile? To go to buy you paying no fever. Everything on the trip by fever. Momo carry 12% of Dubai. Why you waiting for to use a mobile? To go to buy you paying no fever. Everything on the trip by fever. Momo we say what's Momo we say what's Momo we say what's Momo we say what's I'm with it. I say Momo now with it. Now
Attention, please do not smile.
Shaggy, wake up.
Oh, Jua, man. People are going to out the show. You just want a dream by.
Hey, Dubai? What's it carry you there? Hello, Pastor.
One day, I'll run Iron Boy in the water, toilet baby, and live left back.
This people carry Dubai? Not there for you are bring good news. Momo Wednesday was for 5 days, but in this year is Dubai edition. Just dial star 156 hatch and do any Momo transaction, send money, buy data, pay bills, and still a chance to win an all expense paid trip to Dubai.
Yeah? Full package.
Yes, so flight pocket change, jolly, all cover. 12 people going. Every transaction earns you coins. More points, more chances.
Dubai dream is loaded Uber. I will get more everything right now.
Dream big with Momo Western WhatsApp. Dubai edition, baby. Recharge, pay, or send with Momo. And get a chance to win amazing prizes every week. Get all experience paid straight to Dubai at the grind price. The I-Star 156. Now to start and win. Well, let's terms and conditions apply. Dubai, Ijamako.
Okay, after a commercial commitment with our partner, Louis Stansel, we into our weather forecast. And thanks to the BBC for providing us detail as relates to the weather forecast um, in our presentation. The weather forecast for today is 27 degrees Celsius, light cloud, and a gentle breeze. It's a very good one. We have light cloud and a gentle breeze today. And let us check out precipitation and other issues. Humidity is 94%. Precipitation, um, of course, it's a wonderful. I love this weather today. At least it's not rainy. Most of us we found when it's raining. Yes, August is stepping up by welcoming September, though we may experience rain, but quite frankly, it's going to weather the weather condition. Yeah, is favorable for today. So if you are going out there, you can get yourself, wear your at least something sleeveless or so. It's not about So let's say good morning to you following us wherever you are. Darlington Thomas, Darlington Thomas, good morning to you. The John Kessler, good morning as well. More than the live feed, we love to see you. Welcome to you guys. As you follow, we appreciate that you share the show as well, so that others can benefit and join in subsequent time. Lots of information to be out this morning. Specifically, we have our focus on LPA. The last time we brought to you detailed analysis concerning how at LPA. And, the president has made a serious decision, by relieving people of their posts. And for the records, we will be going in depth. The information reaching us that we will provide to you. Those are all verified information that we will going to in subsequent time of the broadcast. But let us flip over now to bring you the exchange rate from the Central Bank of Liberia. The Central Bank of Liberia exchange rate as of today, Central Bank of Liberia buying the selling rates. So we say this morning the buying rate is 200 and the selling rate is 202.2. So 202.2 is the selling rate and buying rate is 200. So that does it for the exchange rate. Moves over to fuel and gasoline. EMS. Edward. So we say this morning, as usual, we noticed that since the LPRC um, began her role, playing her role, um, we noticed that stability in the price of gasoline fuel um, is highlighted. Uh, Noticed a lot. There are people complaining why the LPRC is the player at the same time the referee. But it is interesting to know that by law, it is mandatory. It gives the LPRC management the right to import and distribute. So let that be out for the record. So if people try to politicize things and because of your inability to be in possession of the information, let this serve as an awareness for you so that you do not be misled. The LPRC has the right as per law import. All right, so that is clear. So gasoline is sold on the pump for 800, while fuel is sold for 850. But jerry can guys along the route sometimes hear them sell 760, 750. But that is important. At least we have stability, no shortage, artificial shortage of petroleum products in the country. That is a nice one. What we want the transport ministry, that of our commerce ministry to do is to regulate the transportation fare in as much the gasoline and fuel prices are stable. There must be um, a serious come down on drivers because you no longer have $20 distance. You no longer have $30 distance. Strictly from 50 up. Keke, we have motorcycle, and this is troubling. We cannot be having stability in the prices of petroleum products, then we cannot have a reduction in the transportation fare. So, Commerce Ministry and all of the Transport Ministry should do all necessary so that we have this settled because it was through the hacking in gasoline and fuel prices, we saw skyrocketing of transportation fare. We can now have stability in the fuel and gasoline prices on the market, and you still have those fares at the same rate when gasoline and fuel oil was high. Before, you could take a cab from Nan Street to Central Town for $50. The guys have increased that to 75 or $70, which of course is skyrocketing. You leaving from Elfie to go in town, they charge you Nigerian dollars. You're riding motorbike from 10th Street to Elfie, they're going to charge you $100. Those are all things that the transport ministry needs to do. And you find people even getting a vehicle from 10th Street up to Central Town, charge $50. So we used to pay the 25, but this time, it's 50. So please, let us do the transport ministry and out of the commerce ministry so that you look in that direction. So let us stay true now and take our drive at the Roberts International Airport. Let me say good morning to my brother Rufus and Conan. Rufus is following. We love to appreciate you. You're there on 19th Street, and you also work there at the City Trust Savings and Loans Nigeria Limited. I'd love to say good morning to you and your team of co-workers. Hope you all doing very fine this morning as well. So we go to the Roberts International Airport and bring you the flight schedules, beginning with the arrivals at the Roberts International Airport. Arrivals at Roberts International Airport is up next. Ethiopian Airlines, flight ET 942 from Freetown, Sierra Leone, will arrive at the Roberts International Airport at 10:05 this morning. Why? We have Airpeace at 4756 from Accra, Ghana. We arrive at the Roberts International Airport at 5:35 this evening. Kenya Airways. Kenya Airways flight KQ508 from Accra, Ghana. We arrive at Roberts International Airport at 5:40. While nicely, we have Alaska Airlines. Alaska Airlines flight KP20 from Accra, Ghana. We arrive at the Roberts International Airport at 5:50. So basically, you have 10 minutes interval. 10 minutes interval where you have Airpiece arriving at 5:35. Sometimes you may have 5 minutes interval. You have Kenya Airways arriving 5:40, which is 5 minutes interval, and you have Alaska Airlines arriving 5:50. So we move on to departures from the Roberts International Airport. Air Cote d'Ivoire, flight HF755 will depart the Roberts International Airport this morning at 8 o'clock for Conakry. Air Cote d'Ivoire, flight HF755 will depart the Roberts International Airport for Conakry at 8 this morning. Ethiopian Airlines, flight ET942 will depart the Roberts International Airport for Addis Ababa at 11:05 this morning. Airpeace flight 47537 will depart the Roberts International Airport at 6:15 this evening for Accra, Ghana. Lastly, for departures from the Roberts International Airport, have Kenya Airways. Kenya Airways flight KQ509 depart Barbados International Airport at 6:40 for Accra, Ghana. So that's also for the flight schedules there at the Rabbits International Airport. It is important that we highlight these flight schedules so it informs you on happenings there at the Rabbits International Airport. And there are lots of things happening there at the Rabbits International Airport, aside from the Rabbits and departures. See some level of construction going on. We look forward to seeing shelter, we know, for those who go to wait for their loved ones. We want to see like what is now at the Kotoka Airport. Before it used to be ball-headed like ours, but it is now transformed. You know? So we see our officials, they leave from here to go to other countries, the airports, the comeback must be some level of changes brought to the country so that we add on to our airport, beautify the airport, bring it up to international standards. Can I have people going at the airport to wait for their loved ones? When the loved ones arrive, especially during the rainy season, there's no space, and you have the security telling you to move, do this, do that. We have the land. The land is available. All we need to do is to be sincere to ourselves and put into place all of the measures that will bring about development. Yes, it will be very important that we do such so that it won't take much to carry on such a project. It won't take much to carry on such a project. The project, it will be very, very important to add value to people who go out there to wait for their relatives. You cannot have these people under the green waiting for their loved ones. And the airport is not as spacious for them to wait on that shelter. No. So where you have the space there, just put a shelter. Come on. It's very, very important. Have value. Have value to the citizens. Yeah. So now we move on to the vehicular traffic movement in Monrovia and its environment. We always say kudos to the Liberal National Police for your tireless efforts, making sure to regulate the traffic and get things into play because you are at the front. Yeah, you are at the front. You are at the front of the security sector. You are the first in line at the security sector. So Nigerian people or foreigners who visit our country, they come in contact with you. You introduce them to the security sector. So please, we need that professionalism, that coordination. Um, you are first in line to introduce people to the security sector. So the way you look, your output counts. All right. So at least we now see our police officers look decent, though there are still issues that needs to be worked on. There are some people who are just who they are, and these people need to go through a lot of trainings. Yes, when it comes to conducting themselves. You are wearing the flag of the Republic of Liberia. And secondly, you are a direct representation of the security sector in the country. You cannot breach those protocols. You cannot breach those high integrity that is involved in the security sector and bring it to public ridicule, belittling yourselves for little or nothing. So measures are put in place to scrutinize the bad apples from the good ones. Yeah. So with that being said, we want to say to the IG and his able lieutenants, thanks for the job well done. It is now rosy, but we see some level of transformation. When the good things are done, we gave thumbs up when the wrong things are done, we criticize and make the necessary recommendation. So these are some of the things that we've observed. Our officers looking decent now in the traffic, and more to that, you cannot place a man in such a position, and he has a lot playing on his mind regarding a care for his family or care for her family. School is about to open. The parents are all out looking for school fees, rental fees as well. These people take home salary cannot take them home to cater to some of these problems that they are faced with. So we are asking the government to please look in the direction of increasing the salaries of our security officers. These people are important. They are very important to us. Our doctors and nurses, the teachers, the security, they are the fulcrum of our society. If you are not living healthy, all of your wealth is for nothing. So the doctors, the nurses, these people play a pivotal role. Our teachers need education. Like I always say to people, when the minds are developed, the eye is going to appreciate the works of the hands. If these people are not imparting knowledge, well, whatever we want to do with our hands won't be appreciated because we must first begin with our minds. That's one of the major problems this country is faced with, the mindset. If Liberians can change their mindset, that my late professor used to say, the late Bomodiasi Marco, he used to say, ill-prepared teachers preparing ill-prepared students for future use. What does that mean? The educational sector needs a complete reform and attention needs to be placed on the educational sector. There are lots more that is needed in the sector. Let me say thanks to um, Dr. Jala for the work so far, but there are still more needs to be done. So we appreciate your efforts, but we need to go out in the field and see what is unfolding there. Yes, as we have begun your rounds, we appreciate that you put things into place before the reopening of schools. Yeah, it's very important. It is very, very much important. So with that being said, the vehicular traffic movement along the Tottenham Boulevard gets tense in terms of traffic congestion going 8 o'clock upward. You understand that there are little hitches along the way. And if you are applying the route of the Tottenham Boulevard, know that there will be deep fall. And the traffic builds up, the congestion builds up around from the ELW Junction Boulevard area onward to the 540 point, reaching out to the Capital Junction, the Fish Market, the Bamuma, and all those areas are traffic prone. So we need to be cognizant of the fact that if you plan around along those routes, you will have some measures put in place. Police will give deed walks and you must adhere to it. Drivers, please make sure before you get on the traffic, check all of your water, your oil level, the gasoline and other stuff. Make sure your car is in a proper running condition, the weapon and all the stuff like that. Now, that place is your office. Do not, do not, I emphasize, do not get in the traffic ill prepared. Meaning, some of you just jump up without taking shower, wear some sweaty clothes you slept in, you just jump in it. Come on. That place is the office, okay? So you have different people interacting with you. You get in the car is not clean, the car is filthy. Then you yourself, hmm, your odor alone makes your passengers uncomfortable to sit in that vehicle. So if you want people to have that freeness, interacting with you while you are driving from one point to the other, make sure your car is clean and you yourself, you are decent, your manner of approach, and you too, passengers. These people are men and women. They are family members. They are head of family. They are not your kids. So you get in this vehicle, we need that cordiality. Don't talk to them anyhow. And likewise, they won't talk to you anyhow. If you know you don't have the transportation fare that is required, you can have that dialogue. Oh, my brother, make the person to know. Oh, my brother, this is what I have. Please help me. If the person will help, fine. If they won't help, they tell you no, they cannot help. But do not wait until you get to the destination. If you say, why I get home? No, it's not called for. We need that cordiality. So, and to you drivers, some of you, you are very arrogant. You get down, you want to fight, and other stuff like that. No, it's not called for. The time you take it to fight, the people that are on board, when you get down and you lose. So I don't care. But if you give my money for $5 bill or $20 business, you're going to lose all of those passengers. No. So have that relationship, have that sense of understanding as well. There are people who are just arrogant. They may come across you. So it is left with you. You know what you are out on the traffic for. It's left with you to play that sensible, approach to issues that may arise in that direction. So people are just tempting to avoid the temptation and act in accordance with good behavior. Okay, so vehicular traffic movement from the Busher Island side onward to Central Town. Not much traffic nowadays being experienced because the pavement of the road, though is not yet completed, but at least to 85 or 90% work have been done there. That gives folks flying around access, free access. It's important that we get engaged with our road connectivity. So far, those of you along the Rabos International Airport Highway, make sure to actually watch the speed limit. The road is very paved, it's enjoyable, very pliable. But do not mind the paveness of the road and over speed. Drive in the speed limit that you can control. But we always say, drive in the speed limit that you can control. With that being said, we went down on our traffic, vehicular traffic update, and in subsequent time, as things start up, we will bring to your attention these kinds of information that are required. Okay. So now, these few days we've been talking about the LDA. The LDA has been on the radar, and it will interest you to know that decisions have been taken so far. Decisions have been taken so far. The president have made a decision at the LDA, and that affects the hierarchy of the LDA. President Joseph Mwambwaka has again, for the second time, um, dismissed top leaders of the LDA, that's the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. That includes those brought, say hello, your arrest. Director General Mr. Anthony K. Sewell, Deputy Director General for Administration, Mr. Gui K. Kupra, and Deputy Director General for Operations, Mr. Sebastian Fa. These individuals were relieved of their posts. According to an executive marshal release, the president has at the same time set up an interim management team to steer the affairs of the LGEA pending further actions and the appointment of a new management team. The release said the interim team include Deputy Commissioner of Police Fitzgerald T.M. Biago of the Liberia National Police to serve as the officer in charge, the RO, that's the OIC of the LGA. Mr. Ernest T. Tape, Assistant Director for Special Services, National Security Agency, the NSA, to serve as Deputy for Administration and Investigation, and the Assistant Commissioner of Police, Patrick B. Kamaru. Patrick will serve as the Deputy for Operations. So these appointments um, come into play based on the Balu there have been taking place at the LGA. Let us understand. The last time we sat here, we brought to you detail touching major points at the LGA. Like I said to you the last time, if some of you don't know, now get to know. The LGA is one of the heartbeats of the American government in the security sector of this country. I give you a flashback last time, and I'm going to do it again. I told you the last time that during the regime of Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, if you can recall, there were full support, logistical and financial support given the LGA from the American government. Upon the change in leadership, when Mr. Soa now, who is now taking his exit, was when he was given the exit goal during the regime of former President Weah. You understand that the LDA came to a point where logistical support and other financial aids from the American government slow came to a halt, and there was this serious issue of drug transaction that went on that led to one of the senior officers back then who had to flee this country for her life. She went on asylum because of that situation. Now, back into play, the coming back of the coming in of a new regime, which is this regime, seeing the likes of A.B. Kroma and others being appointed the party guard, the American government start to build that confidence and observe the activities there at the LDA. We need to find out that there were still bad apples amongst the good ones. So when AB and his Igbo lieutenants got into their scuffle, then came in Christopher Peters, who was brought in specifically for a mission to observe and know the unfoldings there at the LDA. Christopher Peters, you know him. He served for a period of time when AB and Fadiga was going through the stuff. And afterwards, AB returned, Peter returned to his job there at the American embassy, and he returned with a full, detailed package of reports from his observation. Fast forward, a recommendation was made by the American government to the government of Liberia, taking in Mr. Sewell. Now, let us understand, a lot of you will not understand why the president have made this decision to relieve Mr. Sewell of his position. Credible reports reaching he has health issues. Um, it's alleged that he came down with a minor stroke. It has been very tense with him in terms of his health, and he's aged. So basically, he's not as energized as he used to be to carry on operations, and like he used to be, all in the field and doing the field work like that. So that's how now Sebastian Farr and others stole the show and started to do their own thing. Stole the show and started to do their own thing. But they want Wofu, this one, that one, all of them started doing their own thing because knowing that the old man is dead and he doesn't have that energy like he used to. So now the appointment or the dismissal is not based on he's not capable, to do what he used to do in time past, but based on his health issue. That was based on his health issue. Go and do your research, go and do your fact finding. It is based on quote unquote the health issue that he's included in this dismissal. Yes, it's based on his health issue because his recommendation came directly from the US government. So based on his health issues, as we've gathered, so it's been included in this dismissal. But the new appointment, this should not be something like, oh yes, come on. The ego eye on you guys. Serious ego eye. And I must say for the record, that place is tempting. That particular place, the LDA is tempting. So Diago, Tape, and Kamawu, you need to be very careful because there are still people in the system who feels entitled, who feels entitled at that place. So they will do all they can. They will do all they can to sabotage the operation that brings about rebranding and the trust and confidence of the public. So you need to be very careful how you go about your dealings there. Because, mind you, the ego eye, if I tell you the ego eye, you should know the American government has eye on that sector. And when the right things are done, like I said the last time, and I'm repeating myself, when the right things are done at the LDEA, whereby apples will be rooted out and things are on course as it used to be, you will see full logistical support and financial aid directed to the LDA. And I've made this emphasis and I'm saying it again. If that is not done, I ceased my career practice in this country. So know that drug peddlers, dealers, they have their way of attracting you. They have their way of doing their things to make you unpopular. Why it is good that you've been in the security sector in a different direction for quite a long time with the experience you have, know that the LDA is a tempting area, and drug peddlers and importers they spend loosely. So if you are not careful or do not have that integrity, your hard-earned, your hard-earned dignity and best practice you have over the period of time will be punched under the bus, and you'll be brought to corporate ready. So you need to be very careful and very prayerful, like I said, and I will continue to say. You have people who feel entitled at that place. Jackson Sipun, how you doing? Jackson is following from the Iron Factory Marketing. I love to say good morning to you, my brother. You got people at that place, they feel so entitled. So if you guys are not careful, like others have been, you'll lose out. And that proud and confidence people have in you in the security sector, you lose it. So that sector is a very tempting sector. The hint to the wise is quite sufficient. The one who has ears, let him hear. So, on that note, that's happening there at the LGA. Second time around, the president um, changing the leadership of the LGA. That tells you it's not an easy place. It's not a bread and butter place. It's not a place where you did say you can have free ride. Every step of the way, every move you make, the ego eye on you. So if you think you can have dealing, you know what they call security on security? They planted you. After they finish planting, you got another person that is planted behind you. And after that person, they got another person planted on that person. So it's security on security at the LDEA. So if you think that you can do unorthodox things and that people will not know and the authority or the international partner will not get to know, you'll be wasting your time. So this fight against drug is not a small fight, not a fight that you think that you do the cosmetic side of security and get yourself enriched. Sorry. To work with commitment is a field of integrity and it comes with a high level of sincerity. It comes with a high level of sincerity. If you're not sincere, you will bring your own self to public ridicule. Like your old self, old fool who shot himself in the leg. Shot himself in the leg. There have been lots of outcry on you. Then to the worst case scenario, you went there and start doing things and threatening people. You must release daughter or this daughter, not my daughter. Or first it was your daughter, now it's not your daughter. At the end of the day, this is where you are. It is a bad record for a man who has served in the capacity and for the second time you are being relieved of your post due to quote unquote corrupt practices. it's not a good sign for you. And if this country, if we were holding to play the issue of morals and integrity, you have no space in the public sector. You have no space because your morals and integrity have been brought under questioning. The first time you say, oh, and it was wrongfully dismissed due to people were against you and all the kind of stuff. So this time people say against you. See? So these kinds of people, you have no trust, and the public have no confidence in you. For the second time, you've been dismissed from your post. It shows no good sign about you. It shows no good sign about you. Though you may be rigid, though you may have the energy, though you may have the zest and think that you are working, but at the end of the day, if you cannot do the right thing, and the Liberian people still there's an outcry on you. Even people that come on, eyes on you, and you try to double dip to bring you to the point where people, when that trust and confidence is no longer in you, you become a personal data. You become a public, how you call it, government boom. So you are a stepchild to the public now. Nobody can trust you again. Because for the second time, you be relieved of your post. That is not a good sign, bro. Yes, that is not a good sign. So to the newly appointed interim team of the LDA, shine your eyes, go there, discharge your duties with diligence and commitment as well as integrity. Because that sector is very tempting. That sector, I will emphasize, that sector is very tempting. If you think you can just maneuver your way somehow to enrich yourself, bro, the hard-earned character you've built over the years through the security sector, you've served in, you get under the bus, and posterity will judge you wrongly. All right? Yeah, so there are more that needs to be done. There are other sectors, President Walker. I love the old man so much. To the extent people say he's slow, but mind you, he listens and he allows you. What I've observed, he allows you to bring yourself to the point where there can be no turning back. When decisions are made against you, you yourself will agree, say, yeah, you don't want to screw myself. That's what he does. So there are other sectors, President Barker, you need to pay attention to. Look in these sectors and do the needful. There are lots of players on the bench. We just gone 2 years, barely 2 years. There are lots of players on the bench. And these players, the ones that are there, they are not more capable or energized than the ones that are also on the bench. So let us not keep people who are not performing to the aspiration in the interest of the Liberian people. Let us get them off. And let me use this medium to caution us as media practitioners. Why it is good that we unearth issues, let us be also cognizant that the public trust is keen on our reportage. Because we, as journalists, we hold the public trust. We dictate the discourse. When we provide information, this information serves as a working tool for people to make decisions. So if we are in a constant habit of providing information that are not factual, information that are not fast checked, information that tend to bring the country to a standstill based on our political alignment or based on our personal interests, it has a serious, serious trickle down effect on the job that we do. It is about time that we stand up for what the profession is. I said to my friends on yesterday, and I'm saying it again, I even posted. We allow ourselves to be used by politicians, and at the end of the day, there were seed sold. We have seed sold in the media, and that seed has to do with people who call themselves political commentators. We allow these seeds to be sold by politicians, and now these things have gone out to be trees. They are no longer seeds, they are trees, and they are bear their fruits, or they are bearing their fruits. So now, for those of us who continue to remain in the confines of the ethical standard of the profession, we are no longer regarded. The public no longer regard you. We're talking about the on the average. The public no longer regard you because of your stand for truth, fairness, and your balance in analysis or your reporter. All the public want, because of their alignment to political parties or politicians, they want to hear what is best for their politicians or their political party. They do not want to hear anything other than that. So you want to balance your journalistic performance. You are either being referred to as a sold out, or you are not dignified. That's what I always say to people. For me, so help me God, I continue to remain resolute and apply the ethical standards of this noble profession. Because, mind you, come what may, there will be time that you will leave the microphone. There is life after the microphone. You hold the public trust. That's why I always love to read for us, for our hearing. The creed of us journalists. We have a creed. So if you are a journalist, you have your creed, you read your creed before carrying on your duties, you will have that sense of belonging. Regardless of you having that link to a political party or a politician, you will put first the interest of the public and not that politician or yourself. So our creed as journalists states, and I quote, I believe in the profession of journalism. I believe that the public journal is a public trust. Now, underscore the word public trust. That all connected with it are to the full measure of their responsibility. Now, this is where we allow ourselves to be ruined of the sacredness of our noble profession. When we allow politicians to take the center stage and plant their seeds, what we refer to as the politician seeds, those who refer to themselves as political commentators, stating that they are not journalists. So now the creed states, and I re-emphasize, the creed said, I believe that the public journal is a public trust that all connected with it are. All connected with it are. You are in the space of journalism. You are practicing journalism. Now, in as much you are in the space, you are connected to this journal of trust. You say, because you there call yourself political commentator, that means you are exempted from the public trust. The public trusts you because you are using the space where information is disseminated. So at this point, you must uphold the ethical standards of this space to avoid unethical things. You need to avoid unethical things. You cannot leave from here, you go in a courtroom and start to plead cases, breaching the ethical standards of the courtroom. You will abide by the rudiments of the court. So that tells you this is where we shut ourselves in the legs because of the inability of professional people to counteract when the whole thing started, to counteract the posture of politicians planting their seeds in this noble profession. Now that you see politicians part of the media institutions, mine is not exempted, is owned by politicians. So now it brings you to the point to understand that the public trust, where a lot of compromise is made because institutions owned by politicians and they have their own friends, they have their own cronies and all the kind of stuff. They look forward for their own interest. So at the end of it, you understand that it says that all connected with it are to the full measure of their responsibility. Trustees for the public that acceptance of a lesser service than the public service is a betrayal of this trust. Anything that has to do with a lesser service than the public service is a betrayal of the trust. The public needs to know what is unfolding, unbiased reporting, uncensored. They need to know the truth. And what is the truth? What you as a journalist need to do is to do a follow-up. You get an information, say, oh, this one, even your man, say, oh, I did not eat today. Oh, the first thing you need to do a follow-up, to do a research, make sure to know that the facts are available. Not because she's your mother, but give her the benefit of the doubt to do your findings. Nowadays, in our profession, everybody wants to break news. We are not doing due diligence to information any longer. When we hear it, we run with it. And we come back to say, oh, and put a disclaimer, oh, and we sincerely apologize. The information that we published was not right. Was it false for you to publish that information? You did not do due diligence. And this is what the profession calls for. You should get both sides of the story. Balance the story. That's why we talk about the ABC of journalism. You must be accurate, you must be balanced, and you must have clarity. So if your mom is involved with a situation wherein she's been accused or she's accusing somebody, get her side, get the person who's being accused side, and then you come up with what you've gathered. Don't opinionate. Don't put your opinion there. Come up with what you gathered. I spoke to Madam XYZ. She said this, and this. On the other hand, the person who was accused, who has been accused, had this as their own reply to the accusation. Then you now are not a judge as a journalist. You allow the public to make the judgment. You are not the judge. Allow the public to make the judgment. That's good journalism. It went on to say, I believe that clear thinking and clear statement, accuracy, like I said, and fairness are fundamental to good journalism. Accuracy and fairness are fundamental to good journalism. I believe that a journalist should write only what he holds in his heart to be true, based on your ethical standards, based on your conviction. Come on. These are things that you should catalog. These are things that you should have as your guide. I believe that suppression of the news for any consideration other than the welfare of society is indefensible. Suppression of the news for any consideration other than the welfare of the society is indefensible. You cannot defend it. The public trust the welfare of the society. Why, if Rufus do have an information to his disposal, and this information is very security sensitive, and when he posts this information out, it has a serious security implication on the state. Is Rufus required to unearth that information? No. He's looking at the welfare of the society. When Rufus come up with that information, what's going to happen here is that they're going to put the country into chaos. Why should Rufus report that? The welfare of the society is not embedded in that information. So all he needs to do is to avoid injuring the public or the society by providing such information. You understand? This is what a lot of our friends, even some of our friends who have gone through the ranks and fire of journalism, because of the posture that we now have in our society, where the bad seeds have made it a habit that you will spare out information about somebody that is not balanced, though quote unquote that information may be right, but because you have not done due diligence to the information, you come out and publish that information, injuring that person and character. What's going to happen there? The public runs with it. And before that person comes in to put a rebuttal, it has already injured the person. So now, let us go further, understanding the reality, because journalism nowadays, especially with the inclusion of the social media, a lot of people, a lot of ethical things are being done. Back in the days, you understand that people, before they publish information, they have done due diligence to that information they have gathered by getting both sides. Since we got the seeds planted by politicians in the media, wherein the commentator will say, I'm not a journalist, but you are practicing journalism. So they spare out misinformation and disinformation, and these same old people, be it corrupt or not, will run after these people because they do not want the buy or sharing deals to come to the public there. They will call these same people on the side and induce them with financial gains. So that's why you see a lot of our professional friends who are quote unquote professionals are now turned out to be unprofessional. They see that, oh, they may not even general, but they may get caught. They may get living the best of life. I was saying that, yeah, and yet I won't balance story, I won't balance story. At the end of the day, the major role, one sided story, he getting all the things that he has. I think myself too now, all our coming journalists, that's how the media have turned out to be what it is in our country today. But yet and still, there are still more good people than the bad ones. It is about time that we, the good people, stand out for the life of this noble profession. The profession is at a critical juncture wherein we need intensive care. If care is not given, journalism in Liberia will not be regarded. The guy on me now, right, is a journalist. And it brings some of us who still live in the line of the best practice, upholding the sacredness of the profession that we all are referred to as journalists. Because I sit here and talk about the issue on the bottom scale, I'm not regarded. But if I take side, the particular side I'm taking, I'm being regarded by the people that follow that side. That's what's happening right now in the media. The media is at a critical juncture. Like I said in my readout, the press union of Liberia need to take a stand. She needs to take a stand and play her role. Who always come up? These same people who call themselves political commentators, they are not journalists. They breach the ethical standards of the profession. And when people go after them, then we come out to say, oh, it's a countdown on the media. That shouldn't be so. This person come up bluntly to say that they are not journalists, they are political commentators. So if he injures anyone's character, he must bear the full weight. But now, the Table Mountain Declaration and other laws that prevent libel and slander and all that kind of stuff, we all are covered, whether you are a journalist or you are a commentator. This is wrong. In as much this person say he or she is not a journalist, all of the immunities that covers people who are journalists shouldn't be granted them. That's why the president of Liberia should draw the line. Since you say you are a political commentator, remain in your space. Though you are using the space and they say freedom of expression, you are using the space, quote unquote, the social media. We cannot restrict you from using. Come on, but in other countries like Ghana and all, you cannot use the people's space to spread out information that is not of public interest, that will bring the public to public ridicule or bring the country to a standstill. No, they won't allow that, regardless of you having the right to freedom of expression. Freedom of expression comes with responsibility. It comes with responsibility. Let me read further our creed. I believe that no one should write as a journalist what he would not say as a gentleman. Listen to some of our radio stations this morning, or you've been listening to radio stations. They no longer regard the sanity of the airways. They use inverted, raw F words Should we shield these kinds of people? No. If we tend to shield these kinds of people, that's why you see the profession are turned out to be the way it is in our country, because people who are following the ethical standards are not protected. But the ones who are breaching the ethical standards are given more credence and protected than the ones who are still in line of duty with commitment and based on ethical performances. The man says on the radio, he said out misinformation, disinformation. He used invectives. There's nothing done about that. Now you sit as a body. The Press Union of Liberia sit as a body. What is the word of caution to these individuals who sit on the radio and spread out things that are not healthy for the society? You have parents going to work. They tune in the radio. They want to get information. The only thing they hear one talk show host really insults and saying things that are not in line with the public interest, in a sense, is against the norms of society. You cannot sit on a public radio and use invectives. You get a man sitting there for hours. You get a woman sitting there for hours, and they're just using F words and using all sorts of words, threatening people. What are you doing as a body, as a mother body of journalists? What are you doing in that line to curtail this kind of thing? Because mind you, if Martha does that and there's no action or penalty taken against a matter, Sarah will do hers, Johnson will do his, and it becomes a norm of the society. That's how it started. Now it is what it is because at the beginning, when the seeds were sown by politicians, those seeds we refer to as political commentators. When they did these things that they did, there was no penalty, there was nothing to bring them to attention. So now others have seen it, they are following suit. Even the younger ones that are coming up in the profession now, they see these things as being right because more people are doing it and nothing is done about that. Where are we? This noble profession of ours is going down the drain day by day. The media is polarized to the extent it only takes a rational being to read between the lines when information is disseminated. But if you are a follower or you are an admirer of a particular political party or you have alignment with a political party and this journalist or so-called person sits on the radio and talk about the things that are so interesting to you, you run with it. We saw during the elections. There were information disseminated by institutions, media institutions, that were not in the right way. But because they wanted to suit the listening audience and their desires, so they spread out this information. Those were information that would have plunged this country into chaos. What did we do as a mother body of journalists? What was our action against these institutions? We let it slide. Let that lead a thing. Leaving it now, this is where this noble profession is. The media is polarized. Professionalism is not at its best any longer. Where are we? We know people want, you want to live. No one wants to live in a poverty line. Everyone wants to have, yes. But mind you, we owe it to our country. We owe it to the people that listen to us. If we will sit there and just do things in an unorthodox way, and at the end of the day, we call ourselves big star, we call ourselves big boys, yeah, we propound the issue. Okay, at the end of the day, we plunge the country into a terrible situation. Who told you other countries They have people who disagree. Not everybody will agree, but the country interest comes first. In Liberia, what we normally do here, especially us journalists, we go for the bad news. What about the good ones? What are we doing about the good ones? Amidst the challenges, like I always say, there are prospects and kings. We point out the challenges. Where are the prospects? Like I said to somebody the last time, regardless of all of the misconduct and all of the negative propaganda and all the kind of stuff that came out from the past regime, or the past regime was this or that, there were a lot of good things done by the past regime. But did they use the occasion to showcase the good deeds? Did we, as journalists, point out those good things that they did? You see that? So now let's go further. We will get to the issue. It says, I believe that no one should write as a journalist what he would not say as a gentleman. That bribery by one's own pocketbook is as much to be avoided as a bribery by the pocketbook of another. That individual responsibility may not be escaped by pleading another's instruction or another's dividend. That's why I always say, come on. My institution that I work for is owned by a politician, but we have an agreement. And this agreement is we shouldn't do things or give out information that is not balanced. We shouldn't falsely accuse people at the end of the day that will bring the institution under questioning. We should do balanced and ethical broadcast. And I sign up for that. So I owe it to myself. I owe it to the people that I have as my audience. And I owe it to the society. Because mind you, anything other than this, trust me, I'm one person, I believe in my conscience. So getting yourself in line because I work for a politician and there is this thing that is happening, I should not report a side that is favorable to my boss. Come on. You cannot get me to do that. That's what my late mom used to say. The God who spent the team, my son, he knows what to put there. I take my exit and maintain my integrity. But we have come to the point in this profession that we have allowed ourselves to be ruled by the admiration of the unorthodox things that we do to please the people that look up to us, put money in our pockets. Oh, yeah, my picking, yeah, yeah, deal with that man. Then we do. As a journalist, you go on the radio without conscience. You say things that you have no backing. And these people who say you to say this thing or do these things, they go to their meetings, they go to the round tables, they have their conversations. You want to just caught up in you doing that man fasting that one. Come on. Do not allow yourself to be used as a stooge because there is life after the microphone. A lot of our young friends don't know this. There is life after the microphone. And this is something that should bring to your attention. Now that you are getting what you can get from them, oh yeah, Mamaka, we'll buy your car, we'll do the one, we'll pay you up. At the end of the day, when you should have done all of these negative things, what is your conscience telling you? How do you feel? How do you feel? It gets so embarrassing. It gets so embarrassing. Know that The supreme test of good journalism is the measure of its public service. The supreme test of good journalism is the measure of its public service. It's not about the politician. It's not about yourself. It's about the people who listen to you, because based on what they get from you, it's how they're going to make decisions. And these decisions that they're going to take will have a trickle-down effect on the whole. The lines are open: 0778665073, 0887-105-105. And numbers to call this morning to join in on the things that we're talking about. Earlier, we started talking about appointments and dismissals made there at the LGEA, what you make of that. We also start talking about ourselves, journalists, and media as a whole, where we are, what needs to be done. So you can weigh in. Let's talk about it. It's right here on the Positive Show. 0887-105-105, 0778-665-073 are numbers to call and form part of the program, The Positive Show. It's right here on your favorite dial. While we await your calls, we go for commercial commitment. After our commercial commitment, we'll be right back and take your calls. Are you searching for an educational experience for your child or children that goes beyond the ordinary, where brilliance isn't just encouraged, it's initiated? Look no further. Brilliant Minds International Christian Academy, located in Tinker Village, Turning Point, Prince-Wilbur, Nigeria. At Brilliant Minds, we believe in fostering lifelong learning, cultivating responsibility, and honing critical thinking skills within a global context. Our commitment is to inspire and empower students to unlock their full potential, grounded in a Christian faith. We understand the importance of a comprehensive education that prepares students not just for academic success, but for a life of purpose and impact. Brilliant Minds International Christian Academy is dedicated to providing a nurturing environment where students can thrive academically and spiritually from early childhood to 12th grade. Our school welcomes both national and international students by creating a vibrant, diverse community that brings international perspective and experiences into the classroom. We serve the educational needs of national and international families while embracing cultural diversity and fostering a welcoming environment through collaboration between parents, students, staff, and the community. Join a community where brilliance continues. Apply now and unlock your child's brilliant potential at Brilliant Minds International Christian Academy. Visit us in Tinker Village, Turning Point, Painesville, Liberia, or call the following numbers: +231 777 409 696, +231 777 409 697, +231 555 42001, +231 555 42001, or contact us by email at brilliantmindsinternational191@gmail.com. Brilliant Minds International Christian Academy, preparing minds for a better future.
Are you looking for fast, reliable internet for your home, small business, or office? Look no further. Get the MTN 4G router from any MTN service center today for just $49 at 4 router and $89 at 6 router, and enjoy connectivity and convenience like never before. No stress. just connectivity and convenience. You can activate your router yourself at any time using MTN Momo or airtime. Just dial star 355 hash and enjoy bundles starting as low as $9.
Rush now and get your 4G internet router. Call 5656 for more information. Enjoy affordable, fast, and reliable internet with local self MTN. Business done better.
MTN.
Momo we say water.
Hey, attention! All Lucasfell MTN subscribers. Listen, Nigeria's biggest promotion, Momo Wednesday Wasa, is back. And this time, we are flying you straight to Dubai. Just die. Star 156 house and do any mobile money transaction. Send money, buy airtime or data, pay bills, cash out, take loan, and stand a chance to win amazing prizes, baby. We're talking about prizes you still there making fun and then win prizes like cash, dance of ride, TVs, motor bikes, generator, microwave, ice box, and more. And for the grand prize, 12 lucky winners will enjoy an all-expense trip to Dubai. Yes, plane ticket, pocket cheese, hotel, everything covered, baby. Every transaction earns you points you can use to get enough minutes to call on data and automatically enters you into the weekly draw, baby girl. So, what are you waiting for? Get your passport ready. It's Momo Wednesday was a Dubai and this show, baby. Dial star 156 hash now and start transacting. You know again, simple. The more you momo, the closer you are to Dubai. I can't wait to see myself in Dubai, in Jamaica, baby. But remember, terms and conditions apply.
Momo carry 12% to Dubai. What you waiting for to use a mobile?
MTN.
Shiggy, wake up.
No, Chua, man. People are going to Dubai to chill. You can't spoil a dream, man.
Hey, Dubai? What's carry you there? Hello, passport.
One day, I'll run Iron Boy, claim the world tallest berry and live left back.
You think sleep will carry you Dubai? Lucky for you, I bring good news. Momo Wednesday Wasa 5 is back, and this year is Dubai edition. Just dial star 156 hash and do any Momo transaction, send money, buy data, pay bills, stand a chance to win an all-expense paid trip to Dubai.
Eh? Full package?
Yes, so flight, pocket cheese, jolly, all cover. 12 people going. Every transaction, every single point. More points, more chances.
My Dubai dream is loading over. I will tell more everything right now.
Dream big with Momo Wednesday Wasa. Dubai edition, baby. Recharge, pay, or send with Momo and get a chance to win amazing prizes every week. And an all-experience trip to Dubai at the grand prize. Dial star 156 now to transact and win. Well, listen, terms and conditions apply. Dubai in Jamaica coming on.
The lion raising time, emotion for talking.
It's a dine of a new day in broadcasting, and I have got news for you, radio and television stations owners and managers. Expert Communications Consultant is here to solve your equipment installation and purchasing needs. At Expert Communication Consultant, we are the premier source for professional radio and television installation. Contact us today for the following services: we build, install, and do servicing on towers from start to finish. Do a full installation of radio and television equipment. We soundproof and brand radio and television studios of all kinds. We do repairs in radio and television equipment. We do order radio and television equipment as well as spare parts from Italy. The biggest news is we have state-of-the-art solar broadcasting system that uses solar power. So look no further for your communication perfection. Expert Communication Consultant, your premier source for professional radio and television installation. are located on 10th Street in Singapore, Monrovia, right in the technology building. You can be contacted on 231-886-462632 or 231-770-462632 or email us at owusup33@yahoo.com. Expert Communication Consulting, your premier source for professional radio and television installation. Are you looking for a getaway that combines the beauty of nature with luxurious accommodations? Look no further than Woki Farms in Carisburg along the Kakata Highway, where dreams come true from rolling hills to sparkling streams. Woki Farms, it's traveler's dream. We offer a unique experience for all with a 20% discount on all of our services. We are open every day from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And let's not forget about the food at Woki Farms. We pride ourselves on our farm-to-table dining experience. Enjoy delicious meals made from fresh, locally and internationally sourced ingredients. There's no time to waste. Explore our farm where you can get up close and personal with friendly animals. A place with breathtaking views. You will leave your worries behind, from cozy cabins to elegant shallow rooms. Woki Farms, where memories are sweet. Whether you are seeking a peaceful retreat or an adventure-filled vacation, we have live band days and every Sunday. So why wait? Plan your vacation or outing with Woki Farms in Carisburg along the Kakata Highway and experience the beauty of nature. Indulge in luxury and create memories for lifetime. For reservation, call us on 0881 248401. From sunrise to sunset, every moment is grand at Woki Farms because we are the ultimate wonderland.
Before the sun.
New car rental is bigger and better with affordable rides for you. Anywhere in Monrovia is $5 or its equivalent for a ride. You can order a ride anywhere within Singapore and Central Monrovia and pay just $5 or its equivalent in Nigerian dollar. Airport drop-off is $30 or its equivalent in Nigerian dollar. And Queensville is just $15. Book your ride by calling 088-111-222. Once again, book your ride by calling 088-111-222. You car renters, your affordable ride just for you.
I live inside Zimbabwe.
Hey, attention! All users for MPS subscribers. Listen, Liberia's biggest promotion, Momo was saying, and this time we are flying you straight to Dubai. Just guys, now one fast out and do any more money transaction. Send money, buy airtime or data, pay bills, cash out, loan, and stand the chance to win amazing prizes, baby. We're talking about prizes you stand up making fun and install and win prizes like cash, and surprise, TVs, photo packs, generator, microwave, ice box, and more. And for the grand prize, 12 lucky winners will enjoy an all-expense pleasure to Dubai. Yeah, plane ticket, bucket list, hotel, jolly, everything covered, baby. Every transaction earns you points you can use to get enough minutes to call on data and automatically enters you into the weekly job, baby girl. So, what are you waiting for? Get your passport ready. It's Momo Wilson was at the and this show, baby. Guys, star one fastest hash runner. Start transacting. You know, again, simple. The more you Momo, the closer you are into Dubai. I can't wait to see myself in Dubai, in Jamaica, baby. But remember, terms and conditions apply.
Momo carry club as in the Dubai. Are you waiting for to use a mobile?
Yesterday, after that commercial commitment, we were back to give you all of the opportunity we need to talk about those issues that we talked earlier on, and making your informed contribution. Because mind you, this has to do with you and I. It is not just one side. The information that is out in the public glare or gets in the public glare through media institutions, now the credibility is another thing, because journalism calls for credibility. So because you have this political alignment and this person is speaking in the direction of your political interest, you think it is something that you need to run with? Come on. You need to be your own judge. Don't be sentimental, because they say, oh, they're talking about United Party. So anything they talk about United Party is not true. Come on, my friend. Because they're talking about CDC, anything they talk about CDC is not true. So at the end of it all, you are held liable for your own actions. Sometimes you will understand that we have reached a place in the media that people no longer regard the morals of the society. Let's get to the telephone line and talk to this person. Good morning.
Good morning, Fela.
How are you? What's your name? You join us from where?
Yes, good morning. My name is D. Cody Semene, and I joined the conversation from my single resident in Central Monrovia.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, I've been following the conversation. Thank you for the analysis, and I love how you put some of your points, especially when it comes to the media. You know, nowadays our country has been derailed by the issues of politics. So everywhere, once you have a political party, and a political party probably has a radio station or the media house, or the political leader has a media house, then that is whatever they say in their media they're working, it is factual or it is found. But I don't think it should be that way, because that is what causing some of the harbor in our nation now is the confusion all over. And like for instance, let me use one radio station as a case study.
No. Let us not go that route. Just speak to the issue. People who listen, no, that's just avoid whether it's in the negative or the positive. People who listen will deduce your point.
Media institutions that are then used by other political parties. Like they will sit on the show and tell you that the government is this, they will propagate hate messages against the government, and the follower of these political parties or radio stations will take it as fact. So no matter how you explain to them that the government is not going this route or that is not issue, they will say no. Once a party has started on the media, so that is the final and the predicate lie. You see, that is how our project have gone. But I want us as Liberians to think beyond that. That not whatsoever a person says and talk on the radio because he believes in what he sees, so that is the final. And yesterday, the president, I was getting a conversation with some brother who we were talking, and he said about the president and the executive of how radio officials can broadcast the August 24th independence the celebration. But to meet senators, no senator, they have the president, the vice president, and all of our top officials meeting. And I was saying, no, you don't know the people. So, we just have this kind of conversation, and at the end of the day.
Calling up the line 077. I try as much as possible to not align this conversation by pointing out people know. Let us remain in the confines of the discussion, holding all factors constant. When you speak out on this issue, people listen, people know the institutions that are involved. Yes, we don't want to go that route. So just speak out on the issue, and people will actually deduce from when to speak and know which direction that you are headed. Okay, so let us go to talk on those issues that matters. There is this huge change at the LTA, and replacement have been made immediately. So 0887-105-105, 0778-665073 are numbers to call. And we're also talking about ourselves, media institutions. The media is polarized. Now, we are not, I will say for the record, what is happening in the media landscape now is so troubling. If care is not given, that's what I said. The media is in an intensive care unit. If care is not given, the image, prestige that the media or the profession called journalism in Liberia will no longer be regarded. Have we come to realize that back in the days, some of the things that gave us the admiration for the field when we were growing up, it was based on professionalism, the ethical standards, and the presentation skills. Some of us, we were privileged to witness the late Victoria Christopher Cooper, Kwame Nkrumah, the big old names, man. The posture, the presentation skills brought us to the point to admire the field called journalism. And at the end of the day, we started to pursue this career that we now find ourselves. Back in the days when you listen to the radio, you get educated. Back in the days when you had the time to view the television, you learn new things. You build your skills in a positive direction. But nowadays, the media, because of the pull, because of the lack of support, what has happened now? We are playing laissez-faire attitudes to the ethical standards and allowing the seed politicians have planted to take the center stage. They are cutting the shots. And what are those seeds? Call themselves political commentators. Everyone have now turned out to be journalists. People who should be checkmated. They are now setting and cutting the discourse by themselves, checkmating themselves, putting themselves, at the point to say, oh yes, yeah, I didn't want. Come on. You cannot be a player at the same time a referee. That's why you have the fourth estate. Now the fourth estate, to a certain extent, we've lost our essence. I know people will frown, but this is the reality. We must call spade a spade. If we are questioning other institutions, we are questioning other professions, we are questioning other activities, we must start with ourselves. Where are we as the media in Liberia? You go to press conferences, this man have accused somebody. You no longer care about doing due diligence to the information. You run it with breaking news. Journalism calls for clarity. You must be balanced. You must be accurate. This person accused the other person of corruption. What is your duty as a journalist? Reach out to the person who has been accused. Get his or whose side of the story. Then you bring all, and then the public will be the judge. But today, in as much I go to that press conference and the men get fat, they call the cartoon, yeah. I don't care to reach out to the next man who have been accused. When my news time is coming, I call the newsmaker. Chief, the news at 2 o'clock, you listening? Where is the independence? So that's why a lot of these people are now playing laissez-faire attitudes. They are looking down on you who pushing me there, checkmating them, because the entire being is in their pocket. Oh yeah, so man, we are get a mess thing. That's very cheap. Come on, mate. That's why some of us we don't just go places just like that. When I go to this place, come on, mate. If you think you have gratis to give and you've given the gratis and you think it will suit, yeah, it will change the narrative now because the person you are accusing, I must be able to get the person's side to balance what have been said about the person. That's good journalism. The bribery of one pocketbook should not serve to deprive another's. You gotta make a small thing, and so you won't get the other person on the side of the spirit. It's wrong. The Press Union of Liberia, let me say for the record today, you'll be dedicating your office there on 9th Street. It's a good thing. But we need to play. You need to play your role. Be more proactive. Because the media has reached a point at a point where it's crumbling. It's polarized. It has reached a point where people no longer regard the sanity of the public space. Somebody just said already because he has the time, he has the equipment. Sit on radio and just use invectives. Care less of the public interest. People, children listening to the radio. You care whether parents and the children are listening. He just say anything he wants to say. She just say anything she wants to say, whether it is factual or not, because it has a political undertone and it's heavily backed financially by a politician or a political institution. They care less about the public interest. That's not journalism. And where is the role of the press union in this? So when authorities come down on these kinds of individuals or these kinds of institutions, then you come up to say it's a time down on the media. No, it's not a time down on the media. You did not play your role as a mother body right. Inasmuch you hold your child so dear to you, your child shouldn't step their bounds. You should live in the confines of the law. In human rights, they say where your right ends is where someone begins. And freedom of expression, freedom of speech, it comes with responsibility. Anything that is lesser than the public service is a disservice. We are watchdogs of the society. Being a watchdog of the society, you must play a twin-mother role, play a neutral role. Neutrality is the hallmark. You go to journalism school. The first and foremost thing in your early stages of your education in the field of journalism to tell you about neutrality. Be neutral. Be neutral. Neutrality counts because it bothers on your integrity as an individual. And least to say an institution. Why if you there coming up every time you provide information and this information that you provide, they are not factual. Then you come back with a rebuttal or a disclaimer, putting out what we call apology. Oh, sorry for the information we provided the last time. It wasn't factual. Come on. That's why you have time to do due diligence. You have time to do due diligence. So this side of breaking news is causing a serious problem for the media landscape. Everyone wants to break the news, but you are breaking the news. How factual is that information that you are breaking? Have you done due diligence? Have you carried out the rudiments of the profession? The fundamental principles of journalism, have you applied that? Or you want to break news? Even when you are going live, like the social media aspect, see people showing gruesome scenes. It's wrong. That's why a lot of you don't take. Maybe some of you don't know when you watching the television or the international wires when they're about to put even films, you will see Arab 18, or they will tell you strong words. Those are indicators that you, as a parent, you're about to watch that movie with your child. That movie, the disclaimer is already put up that it has sexual related content. It is regarded for persons 18 and above, not people below 18. So when you even of DSTV, the normal international wires, when you see that they will put the rated 18, that means 18 and above can witness that movie. But now today, a journalist will just sit on the radio. He doesn't care as to whether kids are listening to the radio. She doesn't care. Or because he wants to please the political masters or the people who are sponsoring them, they just spread out information in a ruling manner. You may be right with the information you gathered, but have you done due diligence? And I say many things to our friends, Sekwenin and others who came about with this fast checking. It is very important, and to fast check, it helped us during our electoral process at one time. Fast checking did help a lot because there were information fed out by politicians, both during the ruling or the opposition, that weren't factual. But because they wanted to win the minds of the people or the electorates, they spread out this information. But when our folks, our friends who are in the fast checking end, they did professional jobs, they went after these informations that were provided by politicians and came up with the balanced analysis after they have done due diligence to the information that was provided. It helped us to curb some of the errors or the blame during the elections that would have stirred up confusion in this country. If Sekwenin and others weren't around doing fast checking on information that were provided on talk shows or whether how they call it, symposium or political gatherings, this country by now we are talking different things. The way the election went, it wouldn't have turned out that way. But because there was a mechanism put in place to checkmate speeches of politicians and non-politicians, even journalists, it brought the clearer understanding of what was being spelled out in the public. And today, it still continues. So now, it have brought these people who tend to spell out misinformation and disinformation to a check because he or she knows when he talks something that is not correct, somebody is there checkmating him. That's the role of a journalist. That is our role. But we allow people to spell out information all because of their political quest or because we have an alignment with them and let it slide. And the public consume these kinds of false information and run with it like wildfire. And it stir out tension. It stir out tension. These are things, these are critical things. Where have we gone wrong? We have slipped as a media in this country. Politicians have planted the seeds, and the seeds are bearing fruit. Now the professionals now, people no longer looking your way because they may have and you think that you the only person in it. Me, I listen to you, I'm going to listen to my station or my person I will talk, thing I'll be in my interest. I can listen to somebody that will talk something that will be in my interest. We hate the truth. Nowadays, the society have turned out to be what it is because we do not want to listen to things that will give us a balanced skill. We want because we are one-sided, so everything that is said should be in our favor, whether from the opposition or the no position, or the present ruling establishment. So journalists, we need to go back to the drawing board. We need to rebrand the media in Liberia. We need a total media reform. This is needed. President Union of Liberia, as you dedicate the office today, it is important that we look in this direction. This noble profession is right now in an intensive care unit. If nothing is done to curtail the things that are happening right now, will no longer be regarded. Even right now, people don't even when you say journalists, they don't care. Before, when you just mention I am a journalist, that high level of respect is given you. Sometimes some places will go we even hide our identity because what is happening now in the media, it is only by the grace and by the works that we do that we still maintain that proud calling ourselves journalists because we are not associating ourselves with those unorthodox things. So only the sound-minded people know or differentiate the professionals from the unprofessional and don't characterize everybody as on the list. That being said, the lines are still open. 0887-105-105, 0778-665-073. Our numbers to call this morning and form part of the positive show right here on Love FM 105.1. 0887-105-105, 0778-665-073. Our numbers to call. It's very disheartening, right? This is a noble profession. You spend all of your time acquiring the knowledge. So nowadays, even our younger brothers and sisters, they no longer regard going to upgrade themselves in terms of getting the requisite knowledge to work in the field. I can just take one phone, pass it around. The next thing, I have the opportunity. I know people. I go to press conferences. The next thing, I call myself journalist because I'm providing information. Well, am I aware of the ethical standards? And sometimes you listen to some of the presentations, you're like, wow. The enunciation, pronunciation, the articulation. Amen. You have a foreign friend visiting the country, tune into us. So let me listen to one of your stations. You tune into the station, you listen to that person that is on air, you say, wow. Is he a journalist? Is she a journalist? We need to go back to the drawing board. The Press Union of Liberia, you need to take your place. Be proactive. If for any reason you can reach out to some of your neighboring brothers and partners and see how and learn from them how they put things into play to curtail the bars side of journalism. You and I know the story of Rwanda, the genocide, how it came about. We can also take up the time Because if care is not given, we may plunge ourselves into unbearable situation, and at the end of the day, it becomes a serious burden on all of us. We need to hold ourselves accountable for the things that are happening in our country. Oh, and the government not working, or the other person not working, nothing not happening. How can things happen when we ourselves are being used as a stooge or as a tool to spare out things that are not factual that will cause a dark cloud on the investment in our country? Okay, like I told you the last time, a taxi driver in conversation. My man, this thing we don't do it here. We don't show these kind of negative things about our country. No, we don't do it. If the common man, then what more about? Nobody is saying that you should be a praise singer. And one thing I've come to realize, even people that are in government, they do not they do not actually look in the line of people who put out professionalism. They go after people who are quote unquote unethical because these people find themselves as well in unorthodox behavior. So they don't want the people who are not ethical, to single them out. So they make friends with them. When they have issues, they have occasions, they call them there to befriend them so that these people shoot their dirty deeds. But they won't come to people who want to be or who try to maintain the sanity and the sacredness of the profession by being balanced. Yo, man, wait, now let me buy it. Um, if you hear a message, you say, come on and say, come on. It's better that way than for you to be shielded of your dirty deeds. So you find that most of our friends now are diverting from professionalism to unprofessionalism because they notice that the professional people are no longer being regarded. The unprofessional people are seen as the people that are cutting the shots nowadays. So everybody now, they're turning that way. So, man, I guess on a story about him. When I even get inside, we'll publish it, then you will come after us. That's how it's happening. And you are siding with these things. You are aiding and abetting the unethical, ethical practices of journalists in this country. Because when this man published something, and you know very well that thing he has published, he did not reach out to you to get your side, but it was being published, and you know that you have some feedback into it, you call him on the side. You are aiding and abetting. You are aiding and abetting. Because, mind you, if you know that you are free from what that was published against you, and you have the records, you want to make the records straight, you will come out. You will definitely come out. And that will send a dark cloud on the integrity of that person who have published something that they did not do due diligence to by getting your side. But because you people are also falling in the same web, so and the men do know that the only way he can get something for you is to publish that thing, that the little information he got about you, then you will come running to him. That's the ball. That's how it's been played now in our country. This is where the media is. This is where the media is. So we need to do more. We need to do more. So let's go to the line 0887-105-105-0778 665-073. Numbers to call this morning and form part of the positive show. We're talking about ourselves, looking deeper into our practices in this country as journalists, and also looking at appointments and subsequent dismissals there at the LGA. Is it in the best interest of the fight against drug? What do you make of those who were appointed by the president? Let's get to talk about these things, and let's talk about the journalists' approach to issues in this country. It is very important that we have these conversations. 0887-105-105, 0778-665-073. Our numbers for the contact of the program, The Positive Show, which there's barely a few minutes to go. The lines are open. Let's have the conversation. You know, sometimes the truth, at all times, truth helps. But the truth hurts those on the negative side and helps those on the positive side. We want to see a transformed Liberia. It begins with us as journalists. It begins with us as journalists because we hold the public trust. Everything the public believe, whatever comes from the radio or the media is factual because they know professionally that journalists have done due diligence and have balanced whatever information he brings out to the public. So that mindset is there. So whatever comes from the radio, you believe it. So how can we as journalists now maintain our prestige? How can we maintain that integrity? 0887-105-105, 0778-665-073. I always say to people, I'm not moved by multitude. I'm moved by the faithful few. We do what we find ourselves doing. We know that there is life after this microphone. And based on the family upbringing, the moral values we obtain from our family upbringing, we bring it to public space, to our profession. I will say here, Yamia, I need money. I need to get my car out of the garage. I could sit there in my line, somebody character, at the end of the day, they call me on the line, on the phone, and get a few bucks in my pocket, I get my car from the garage. But would that help me? Would that help the society? Am I doing justice to my children's future? Am I doing justice to my nation? I am not. It's not what I can get now. What happens to the thousands that will be affected by the information I will provide? Am I looking in that direction? These are things that we should caution ourselves. These are things that we should ask ourselves as people who sit before the microphone and the television or the camera. These are questions we need to pose to ourselves. What am I about to spare out there? What is the consequences thereafter? What's going to be the effect on the present and the future? My late professor, the late Joe Moba used to say, there is no news worth dying for. There is no news worth dying for. We should be cautious enough. Information that is very sensitive relating to security matters. We don't care these days. We just come, oh yeah, I won't break the news. So come on, organize information. What I have, security implication, we don't want to know. Where is the ethical standards? The president of Liberia, you need to stand up. Stop sleeping. You need to take your responsible role. Now when people come after people who are practicing in the media, who declare themselves as political commentators, they are not journalists, then we tend to shoot them when people come after them. Him to a wise is quite sufficient. The one who has ears will hear. Let's get our final commercial commitment. When we come back, we're wrapping up on today's edition of the program, The Positive Show. My name is Rufus Divine Content. I lead and all follow. First among equals, of course, I'm destined for great. So you there, I'm right here. Together, a teamwork supported on this radio.
Whoa! MTN mobile money not to you for the first time in Liberia. First time in Liberia, you can send money from your phone straight to Africa, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Guinea, Uganda, Rwanda, Mali, and Senegal. No more stressing on how you will send your children school fees to Rwanda or your market money to Guinea or even other your goods from Ghana. Momo is now across borders. So just star 156 *1# select international transfer and follow the instructions.
Send money instantly and conveniently across Africa right from the phone. Dial *156 *1# and select international transfer to cross borders with Momo. Outbound remittance powered by BNB. A Lone Star Cell MTN mobile money.
MTN.
Are you looking for fast, reliable internet for your home, small business, or office? Look no further. Get the MTN 4G router from any MTN service center today for just $49 at 4 router and $89 at 6 router, and enjoy connectivity and convenience like never before. No stress, just connectivity and convenience. You can activate your router yourself at any time using MTN Momo or airtime. Just dial *355# and enjoy bundles starting as low as $9.
Rush now and get your 4G internet router. Call 5656 for more information. Enjoy affordable, fast, and reliable internet with Lone Star Cell MTN. Business done better.
MTN.
Attention, please. Please do not smoke in this
Sige, wake up.
No, Chua, man. People are going to buy the show. You can't spoil that dream by.
Tuba, what's it carrying there? Hello, passport.
One day, I'll run Iron Boy in the water, dollars baby, and live back.
It is sleep for carry Tuba. Long day for you, I bring good news. Momo Wese was 5 is back, and this year is buy edition. Just dial *156# and do any Momo transaction, send money, buy data, pay bills, and still a chance to win an all expense paid trip to Dubai.
Full package.
Yes, so flight, pocket change, trolley, all cover. 12 people going. Every transaction earns you points, more chances.
My Dubai dream is loaded over. I will tell more everything right now.
Dream big with Momo Western Wasa. Dubai edition, baby. Recharge, pay, or send with Momo and get a chance to win amazing prizes every week. In an all-expense trip to Dubai as the grand prize. Dial *156# now to transact and win. For listing, terms and conditions apply. Dubai is your market coming on.
Are you searching for an educational experience for your child or children that goes beyond the ordinary, where brilliance isn't just encouraged, it's initiated? Look no further. Brilliant Minds International Christian Academy, located in Tinker Village, Turning Point, Build Liberia. At Brilliant Minds, we believe in fostering lifelong learning, cultivating responsibility, and honing critical thinking skills within a global context. Our commitment is to inspire and empower students to unlock their full potential, grounded in a Christian faith. We understand the importance of a comprehensive education that prepares students not just for academic success, but for a life of purpose and impact. Brilliant Minds International Christian Academy is dedicated to providing a nurturing environment where students can thrive academically and spiritually. From early childhood to 12th grade, our school welcomed both national and international students by creating a vibrant, diverse community that brings international perspective and experiences into the classroom. We serve the educational needs of national and international families while embracing cultural diversity and fostering a welcoming environment through collaboration between parents, students, staff, and the community. Join a community where brilliance continues. Apply now and unlock your child's brilliant potential at Brilliant Minds International Christian Academy. Visit us in Tinker Village, Turning Point, Painesville, Liberia, or call the following numbers: +231 777 409 696, +231 777 409 697, +231 555 42001, +231 555 42001, or contact us by email at brilliantmindsinternational191@gmail.com. Brilliant Minds International Christian Academy, preparing minds for a better future. We do advertise goods and services here for you, so you can actually get us doing it for you wherever you are. Of course, we do it simultaneously while you are listening to our FM Maker band. It's also on our online radio across the world. So come and advertise with us for a full price, and we will be glad that you did. It is important that we get to do business together and experience sincerity and get the best of your money. Okay. So on this note, say many thanks to all of you who play your listening role. Our lone caller, we appreciate your participation and look forward to a fruitful day. And we also want to caution all of us, especially my friends in the media. We hold the public trust, and this profession comes with integrity. So if we sit there and say, oh, because of what we can get in our pocket and plunge our institution, our country into unbearable situation, posterity will judge us wrongly. Mahatma Gandhi said the difference between what we do and what we are capable of doing will stop is to solve most of the world's problems. So then I always say to us, two things in this life we always be remembered for: the problems we create and the problems we solve. We must take responsibility of two things in our lives: our fortune and that of our misfortune. Because in union, strong success is sure. We've got above our rights to prove we over all prevail. With hearts and hands, our country cause defending, we meet the foe with valor unpretending. My name is Rufus, divine cunning. I lead, another follow. First among equals. Of course, I'm destined for greatness. Do have you and yours a pleasant gala day. Follow the rest of our broadcast. On this note, we wind down the curtains on today's edition of the program, The Positive Show.